This is from the Charlotte Dobre subreddit. Am I the asshole for breaking my brother-in-law's marriage? This is a long one, but I'll try to be thorough. I love when they're long. I, 30 female, married my ex-husband, 36 male, 8 years ago. At the time, his brother, we'll call him Bob, was dating his girlfriend for a couple of years. They got engaged and got married in 2019. Before their wedding, there was a family argument, and his then girlfriend was overwhelmed with everyone ganging up on her and asked me to go for a walk with her to explain her side because no one was listening to her. I agreed and we went for a walk. I listened to her side and she told me that Bob had cheated on her more than 5 times and was struggling to decide whether she actually wanted to marry him. She asked me that if I was in her shoes, what would I do? I'm big on girl code and admitted that I would leave, and she was like, exactly. So why is Bob's family trying to convince her that cheating was okay and she should just get over it? After about 20 minutes of walking, we came back and she broke up with Bob and disappeared for roughly a month. She then came back and they got married at the end of July in 2019. I attended their wedding. Everything was fine. Until 3 weeks later, I found out that she had caught him stealing money from her, amongst a string of other things, and she filed for divorce. Left, and we never heard from her again. Now, here's the tea. A month later, the end of August, Bob's mother, my mother-in-law, turned up at my house with my 2 sister-in-laws and a new girl that I'd never met before. They were all happy and introducing me to the new girl, saying, this is Bob's fiance and they're getting married next week. Wait, what? Hold on. I've still got to rewind this a second. A month after his first bride leaves him because he cheated on her yet again and was stealing money, a month later, he's engaged to someone else already? Holy rusted metal, Batman. They were all happy and introduced me to this new girl, saying, this is Bob's fiance and they're getting married next week. I was in shock. The ink wasn't even dry on the divorce papers and already he's marrying another girl a month later? This girl, we'll call her Susan, seemed really nice, and I was told by brother-in-law's family not to mention anything about his previous wife. I didn't want to get involved with the drama, so decided to stay away as best I could and said nothing. On their wedding day, my brother-in-law still had pictures of his ex-wife all around at the house, which everyone found weird and was forced to take them down before his new wife saw it. So they got married in September. Okay, remember, marriage number 1 to whatever her name was, June, the end of June. New marriage by September, same year. So they got married in September and everything was quiet for a few years. Fast forward to the last couple of months and mother-in-law came to me asking for advice on what to do because Susan had found out that Bob had been meeting up with his ex-wife. She told me that they had been texting and met up when his ex gave him a Rolex watch. His current wife found the watch and questioned where it had come from. Apparently, he felt guilty and told her everything, and she was seething. They patched things up and limped on. Now, at this point, for context, my husband told me that he had cheated on me. Now, I know everyone will be asking what I did, and we need more context, but genuinely, this came out of nowhere. We were doing fine, and this took me by surprise. So I ended my relationship with him and moved on. Side note, I'm not bitter about it. I'm seeing someone new, and my ex-husband and I are on civil terms for our children. So before people start commenting that I'm a jealous blah, 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 that's not really the case here. So anyways, back to the tea. A couple of weeks ago, Susan called me quite upset and told me that Bob had cheated on her. Again. She told me that she just couldn't take the betrayal anymore because they have children together. Susan said that Bob was confused and said, well, you was okay with me cheating in the past and let it go, so why is it a big deal now? Fucking idiots. And then he laughed at her. So she was upset and asked me to tell her the truth about his ex-wife and the reasons their marriage ended. I'm not much of a gossip and generally keep to myself because the family is so toxic. I did at first tell her to ask sister-in-law, who she seemed to be close to. Susan told me that the whole family was being shady and not giving her a straight answer and blamed the marriage breaking up because of the crazy ex-wife and sold Bob as God's gift. In tears, she pleaded with me for the truth because besides the cheating, Bob had been doing a number of other horrible things to her, i.e. making degrading comments, not coming home for days on end, and talking to a girl on a private number for 9 hours regularly, and that mother-in-law knew and was helping him cover it up by letting him use her phone to chat to girls? Good God, this whole family is toxic. She has asked one of her friends to do a loyalty test from a private number when Bob answered the phone, and he said, "Your voice sounds different." When the girl started talking, I felt so guilty for hiding the truth from her because she is a lovely girl, but knew it wasn't really my place to say anything. And I had been forbidden from doing so by the family. So I kept it to myself for a couple of days to think about whether it would be right to tell her or not. Eventually, my moral compass took over and decided that if she were my sister or even myself, I'd want to know. Also, because mother-in-law had been speaking a load of shit about Susan to everyone behind her back and painting her son as a saint. Let me just add that Bob is highly disrespectful to women, including his own mother, calling her okay, we got initials. I hope somebody knows what these are. SG and I know that one. Fucking bitch. I have no idea what SG is. For not making his food to his exact standards. Bear in mind, this guy is in his late 20s and can make food for himself. The mother-in-law just allows him to treat her like that, which in my eyes is giving him the green light to just treat all women disrespectfully. He even mugged his own mother. Yes, I said mugged. And she's just let him do whatever he wants. So anyway, I told Susan the truth about everything and her jaw just hit the floor. She said that she was already considering leaving after everything Bob and his family had done to her, that her mom agreed and was pushing her to leave before I said anything. She said since finally hearing the truth about his past, she's even more inclined to leave. So she got into another argument with Bob and let it slip that I had told her the truth about his past. Now the family wants to confront me about telling the secrets they tried so hard to hide from Susan and are essentially pointing the finger at me for breaking the marriage. Am I the asshole for telling her the truth? Nope. Your family are fucking assholes for trying to hide the truth. So they wanted you to keep your mouth shut when she specifically came to you and asked you these questions. They wanted you to lie to protect your piece of shit brother-in-law. They've been lying to her since day one. She didn't even know why him and the ex split. She's been cheated on just like he did before because he's a serial cheater and he's never had to learn consequences because everybody is so busy covering his ass. He's never had to actually pay for something, have the consequences of his actions. So no, you're not the asshole. And when the family comes back and they start saying about, oh, you're hurting the family. Oh my God. No, you're not. No, you're not. You look your mother dead in the eyes and say, you're telling me not to because brother-in-law's a piece of shit and you don't want people to know? So what you're saying is what he's doing is okay. And even though we were raised to tell the truth and to be honest, but when it comes to him, that's not required. Is it also that you raise him to be verbally abusive to women in general? Because I owe him nothing. Absolutely nothing. But Mom, you do owe me an apology. Why? Because you've been excusing this bad behavior for so long that you are actually part of the reason why it's there. You never held him accountable. So guess what? He's never had to learn consequences. Mom, you got a problem with it? Suck it up. That's on you.